Alright, today I'm going to attempt to get this American Flyer running. So I believe this is the oldest one I have because this whole shell is metal. And according to, because the number here is 3 digits, it would be pre-1957, I believe. So I got my electrical cleaner, I got my oil, some lubricant from Bachman. So the first thing I want to do is see if it runs just how it is before I do anything. We do these controllers. This one, the 16V, 16 volt, is accessories. So you're going to want to go for the track is going to be these two. Alright, so the controller is buzzing, which is normal. Some buzz louder than others. So I gave it power. And I'm not getting anything. And let's see what we can do to make this run. Alright, so I don't have one of those foam engine cradles, so I made one. So this is, I just cut out some packaging material I got from something. I didn't need to buy one. So first I want to see if this is a motor here. And if I do this, the motor does turn. You can see the wheels are turning when I turn the motor. So that is good. The motor is not seized. Alright, so let's get this tender shell off. Should be all the screws for the tender. So the tender is just plastic here. And this is a, from what I understand, is an auto, like it's kind of like a transmission. So when you stop and then go, and then when you turn the power off and then back on again, it'll go reverse. You do that again, it'll go forward. So it's like because the old controllers don't have, you know, the reverse current, so it's just one way. So it looks like all the wires are connected, but it doesn't look like this little tab here is touching any of the, you can see how this, so this turns, so that's good. The switch to turn that off and on is on the bottom of the tender here. So I wonder if that was what was, because that wasn't touching, I wonder if that's all it was as far as not running. I got my cap on the lube here. I just want to lube any moving parts. So get some in the wheel here. All of them. So all the wheels are free moving, which is good. And I'm looking, it looks like these have pickups from the wheel and from the spring thing. And you can see the wheels are pretty dirty. So part of this is an electronics cleaner. I'm going to spray that in the motor there. And I'm going to spray it on the tender here. Let's see if that little bit did anything. So I can hear it buzz. And I can see the stuff moving in there, so I'm wondering if we're going to have a motor thing going on. Like maybe the brushes aren't good anymore or something. So let's see how we can get this shell off. So we do got one screw right in the front here. I'm thinking we got to do both of these on the side of the front guide wheels. Alright, so it looks like I do have to get these ones out here. And I dropped it, of course. So here's the light. Slide that off. Let's also take this trailing truck off. So I'm just trying to look at what's holding it in place. So that was a little rougher than I wanted to do it. Alright, so there's a brace here so I can get the shell completely gone. So this was just a little brace that the trailing, or not the trailing truck, the tender would attach to. So now we can get this out of the way. Set that aside. It looks like I broke the little smokestack, which was in the smokestack, because this does have smoke. If you see, this is the choo-choo. So this goes back and forth and makes the chuffing sound. That's pretty neat because they didn't have the speakers and stuff to put in, so it's always synced. Alright, got everything off here. So I'm gonna check the brushes, and those are behind these. And then there's probably a spring behind there, so I'd be careful sliding that. Yeah, there is a spring, so I'd be careful lifting those up because you don't want those just to shoot out and lose a spring. So there's two springs. know if this is just a big fuzzball stuck in there, which I think it was, or if it was protecting something. But so the back of the motor has the 2 screws, the front, back, whatever you want to call it. And that holds all of it together, and it looks like that was one of the, yeah, so these are the brushes. They're just cylinders, and these brushes are good. You can see it's the tip point, now it's narrower. And that should be what contacts the wheel here. So both those brushes look good, so you don't have to replace those. There's any carbon buildup there. So from what I can tell, the motor looks like it's good. You can see it turning this, that turns this for the chuffing, the choo-choo, I think they're calling it. So, I mean, all the wheels are moving free, which is good. Even that little worm gear that goes through, it's below this and above the other gear that's in here. So it spins the top and the bottom gear, the worm gear in there. I'll have it off. Get some lubricate some of this stuff. Grease here. Looks like there's a lot of stuff down in here. Now look at that. That's probably not affecting how it runs, but let's go and get this motor back together. So those brushes and springs, you're going to want to put those on after you get this on, because you're not going to be able to hold everything in there. Right. So all that's together. Put brushes in. Then the springs. Alright, so all this looks good. It's moving, greased, lubricated. Now without putting all the parts back on, let's see if anything happens. What we do know was this was getting power, so there could still be a problem within this unit. The auto reversing, neutral, whatever thing. You can see that the light came on. I believe whatever the problem is in this. Alright, so we're going to check these little, I don't know if you can see, but right here there's little, like, kind of like brushes, little tabs that are on this barrel with, and to get those, oh, I need my needle nose. The needle nose, these little tabs, you're supposed to just be able to turn them just a little bit so they're not straight. So if you turn them straight, you can lift that piece up. It's kind of like those metal models. They're all over now. It's kind of like those tabs. There we go. So we also clean or rebend these a little bit. Now it looks like there's two more down here. So I wonder if the problem is one of these. It looks like this one right here isn't making contact. And there's another one of these board platforms down here that comes off the same way. But it looks like this one isn't touching anything. So that might be the problem of why it's not running. So I'm actually going to put this piece back on and take off the bottom one. I'm just going to rebend these to hold it. And then there's one here with two tabs. It looks like one of these are not touching the little electrical barrel thing. I don't know what you call it. At this point, my theory is if I can get that to touch, we will have a running locomotive. Or I will. So I'm just going to weasel this out of there so you see these two. So I'm just going to give it a little more bend to it so it'll actually touch, and then I think that's all it's going to need. It's not going on as easy as it did coming off. I believe it's touching now. It's going to twist these to hold it in. And what do you say we give it a try again and see if we get a different result? Otherwise, Oh, you see that? I got movement. I'm just letting these things flap around and they're getting stuck, so that's not good. But you see there, it's working, so I'm going to put this back together and then play with it some more. So I'm just going to get a reverse order, put everything back together, and I'll be right back. Alright, I got it all back together. I got the cardboard on just to lift the drive wheels off the rail, so when I try it, it doesn't take off because the track just kind of ends right over here. So now I'm going to plug in the controller and we're going to give it a try. Okay, we're plugged in and buzzing. And I get nothing. Oh, there you go. So the headlight's working. Look at that. What is it, 70 years old and it still runs? And chuffs. So there we have it. The oldest one that I believe is the oldest one I got, just because it's all metal. And we got it working. Or I got it working. So the next step is going to be making sure everything's lubed up and greased and everything like that. And then putting it on the track and watching it go around. So I still got 4 more to do, which I don't think are as old. They're still old, but they have plastic shell, not metal. So leave a like to come back to see more of the American Flyer getting ready to run. This has been in someone's attic, I'm guessing, for, I don't know, decades. So yeah, leave a like, and I'll do more.